Hello, everyone. Along with our kids, Eric and I are excited to welcome you to this year's Family Tree's Great Chefs virtual dinner. Obviously, this is a completely different format than what we've been used to in years past, but we are so excited to be sharing it with our kids and all of you.
During this tough time, as a family, we have remained true to working together by helping each other during the highs and lows and finding plenty of time to do things as a family.
Making dinners, watching movies, doing puzzles, playing board games, lots and lots of board games.
During a crisis like this, families need more help than ever before, and that's why supporting the family tree is so important.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Sit back and enjoy the evening. So from here, we're going to pass it on to Sally Bauer, President of the Family Tree's Board of Directors.
Thank you, Eric and Lacey, so much. What a fun way to kick off our first and hopefully only virtual Great Chefs dinner. My name is Sally Bauer, and I'm sitting here with you in my dining room in Glendon, Maryland. We appreciate the almost 30 minutes that you'll end up spending with all of us so that we can tell you what's been going on behind the scenes. I must tell you that I miss standing at the podium talking to 400 smiling, wonderful people who have supported us over the many, many years that we've been in business. You have been an incredible resource to us for many years, but came out with such graciousness and generosity during this difficult time. The people that bought sponsorships and tables and tickets allowed us to convert them to 100% tax-deductible donations. And without that, we would not be able to have continued our services to the much-needed people in the Baltimore community. I'd also like to give a shout out to our co-chairs, Josh and Erica Slater, Bill and Catherine Corey, and our amazing auction chair, Cindy Nip, who always does an amazing job. And then there's Carol Obrecht, Sarah Woods, and Ellen Brinkley, who are our logistics committee. I will tell you that they've grown enough lettuce for all of Baltimore County as part of our table decor. So we unfortunately aren't able to see that right now, but the work that they've done over the many, many months will not go unnoticed. And then there's our staff and our volunteers and our event committee chairs. All they have done is shift gears with us so that they were able to put this event on virtually. To them, we give thanks. How can we ever begin to acknowledge the individuals on the front line, the healthcare workers who go into the hospital every day risking their lives? And then there are the delivery people who go to our wonderful restaurants who've stayed open for carryout and our grocery stores who keep the shelves filled with healthy foods. We thank you. It is a time that we need to show appreciation for all of those who are helping us during this pandemic. Let's talk about our teachers. I mean, how can we ever thank them enough for putting virtual curriculum together so that our students can stay at home and continue their studies as if they were sitting in a classroom? They must be commended for shifting gears like that. And then let's think about the medical field and the scientists who are working 24 hours a day to create a vaccine so that we'll never have to go through this kind of pandemic again. And finally, the staff here at the Family Tree. Most incredible group of people I've ever worked with. They have never skipped a beat. They are conducting virtual classrooms, virtual webinars, virtual home visits, and they are manning a 24-hour critical hotline for the people that are in trouble and need immediate assistance. So as you can see, there's been a lot of work done. Nothing has stopped us during this time, but it's only because of people like you. I'd like to now turn this over to Pat Cronin, our Executive Director. Thank you, Pat.
Good evening. I'm Pat Cronin, the Executive Director of the Family Tree, Maryland's leading nonprofit dedicated to preventing child abuse and building strong families. I'm here tonight at my home, where I've been for the last month or so. This safety and health crisis is unlike anything we've ever experienced. Right now, children are facing situations that I could not have imagined just a month ago. The sad reality is that home is not a safe place for every child, And that's because parenting is really hard. We can't do it alone. We rely on schools and daycare centers and after-school programs and many community helpers to support our families. But right now they're closed. Even playgrounds are closed. With extended stay-at-home orders, the Family Tree's work is more urgent now than ever as we help families deal with the increased stress and trauma that so many face today. So that's why we're here tonight. We need your help to do our work. We need your help as we chart a new course in a really uncertain territory. I am so proud of the Family Tree and the work that we're doing every day with families, but we can't do it alone. So thank you for taking time and joining us at our first virtual event. Now it's my opportunity to turn it over to Stacy Brown, who's our program director, and she has been working with our wonderful staff to adapt all of our programs to this new environment. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Stacy Brown and I'm the Director of Programs and Services at the Family Tree. Welcome to my home where I sit on my favorite couch, where I have my family in the background doubling as my camera crew. This dynamic is no different than a dynamic seen in homes all across Maryland, as we all have to find ways to do things differently. Well, the Family Tree is no different. Our 24-hour parenting helpline continues to serve families across the state by providing resources and emotional support to families, professionals, and individuals. Our parenting classes, which were originally offered in specific locations, is now being offered online and is available to anyone across the state. To prepare for this change, our family education team worked tirelessly to transform the materials to an online format while also learning how to provide the services via Zoom. Our home visiting programs are now conducting virtual home visits. Our home visitors are maintaining weekly contact with families via Zoom, text, and emails. Our community engagement program is continuing their work in the community by providing online webinars. Thus far, we have scheduled 2 webinars, and I'm excited to announce that they both were sold out, meaning they were at capacity. The Baltimore City Child Care Resource Center, which is our newest addition to our programs, continues to provide technical assistance and support to child care providers. This program works closely with daycare centers and family child care providers to ensure that they are providing quality child care environments and supports to families. As you can see, our work continues because families need us. Over the coming weeks, we will continue to provide innovative strategies and ways to meet the needs of families. Thank you for your commitment to the Family Tree and to Maryland families.
Thank you so much, Stacy. The work that you and your staff do is absolutely admirable, and we could not do this without you. Now, as many of you know, the Great Chef's Dinner actually comprises 20% of our total operating budget. And although I've told you how generous our sponsors have been, we still have a shortfall in order to serve the families that are in need. After you watch this inspirational video that you're about to see, I hope you'll click on our Fund to Need button and help us close the gap. I'd like to introduce you to Paulina Harrison, a mother of 4 who came to the Family Tree last year and has made us understand how hopeful her spirit can be for not just her family, but her community. Let me welcome Ms. Paulina Harrison.
You ever had somebody twist your arm and like they won't let go? I don't know if anyone has ever felt like physical pain in your heart, and not just from like chest pain, but just from hurting. That's what it felt like. And I just didn't understand how it all got out of hand. I was a fugitive from Louisiana. I was wanted for writing a bad check. I wrote that check to pay my rent. And the plan that I had was to come here and be able to work, save some money up, and then go back and answer for my wrongdoing, but that my children would be stable financially. And it was 3 years I didn't have them. They were sent back to Louisiana, and I couldn't go back there because I had my fugitive warrant. So I had to run the risk of being locked away for a long time and really being away from them, or trying to find a way out to fix everything and get them back. It didn't happen like that. My children's father and I got into an altercation, and I was arrested and I was extradited back to Louisiana. I had to serve 8 months, and after that, I had to come back here and answer for the altercation. In my probation, I had to go to anger management and parenting classes. And when I got to the family tree, I became a totally different person. They helped me to control my anger, even if I got upset, like at work or here at home. They cared, and they wanted you to be better. I was so grateful for that. Wanted to come to class. Open, fun, transparent, non-judgmental, an atmosphere where we were okay to talk about us maybe not making the best decisions as parents. I needed help with myself, and I needed help getting back on track with my kids, and that's what the family tree did for me. I believe my future is bright. I see myself becoming a chef. I'm really passionate about owning my own business, and a restaurant in particular. To define who I am in one word, I would say limitless. The family tree has helped me become a better mother. It has helped me to step in a different direction on how I approach things. I'm very grateful to the family tree. Thank you. Pick the family tree to donate to because of the lives it saves. Once somebody feels like they are important or they matter, they want to do the same thing for the next person. And you don't see it, but it's happening. And it taps the next person, it taps the next person, it taps the next person. And that makes you responsible for many lives and not just one.
Hi, good evening, and thank you so much for being here. I'm Ashley Hinson from WBAL News, and last year I had the honor of seeing so many of your smiling faces in person at the 28th Great Chefs Dinner, where I served as the MC for the evening. And for those joining a Great Chefs Evening for the first time, I want to welcome you. Thanks so much for being here. When the family tree asked me to be a part of this first ever virtual dinner, I didn't hesitate, jumped right in, because at WBAL, we're so passionate about community and how we build connections to each other, and we really, really do care about that. So by telling each other stories during this difficult time that we're all in, we deepen our understanding of the hopes and dreams that we all share. And tonight, my hope for each one of you watching tonight is to hold on tight to your family, hold on tight to your friends, and remember to really lean on each other during this difficult time. Share your own stories with one another, and we're going to get through this. We're going to do it all together. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to ask you to do this evening with me. The second request is to please consider a donation to the family tree. As I'm sure you know, raising a family, it is never easy, a really difficult task, and that's even in the best of times. But now that job is becoming next to impossible for so many parents throughout Maryland, and children are being left behind in the process, which is why the family tree's continued work is so vital. We've got a live scoreboard right next to me, and every dollar we raise tonight represents critical support for families looking for answers, looking for a little bit of help and hope too. So now if you would go to one.bidpal.net/familytree and click on the Fund a Need button. $100 pays for a parent to attend an online class, which means for just $1,000, a struggling parent can attend a life-changing 10-week session that will be felt by a family for generations. This doesn't only affect the parents, but as you can imagine, the children, and then the children of those children. It just goes on and on. So even just that $500 would provide 12 new mothers with virtual home visitation services, a moment of relief and comfort for families going through incredible uncertainty. The impact, it is real, it is direct, it is real. That's the best way I can explain it. So please just take a moment on your phones, help fund a need right now. You can do that again through going to that website. All right, thank you so much for your commitment to support the work of the Family Tree here tonight and beyond.
Welcome to the Great Chefs Virtual Dinner and our home this evening. It is so great to have you here. It's so great to be able to talk to people. Even though I'm not going to hear you respond to me, I know you're out there. So let's get started with a really wonderful pasta dish from Rome called cacio e pepe. It is so simple to make and only a few ingredients that you need. And more likely than not, you probably have these in your pantry. I didn't have any of them because I don't cook here very often. However, let's get started with those ingredients. We have pasta, olive oil, peppercorns, pecorino cheese, and butter. Traditionally, there's only three: pasta, peppercorns, and cheese. But I like to make it with a little bit of butter and olive oil. And the reason I like to make it with a little bit of butter is I love it, and so does Ellen. And so we make it for our friends, my family, and our guests at the restaurant, and they love it. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with the pasta. Boiling water, lots of salt. Next will be the pasta. As you can see, there's very little water in the pot. Probably half of what you should normally have. And there's a reason for that. I want to create a nice, thick texture in the water that will create the creaminess for this pasta dish. So spread your pasta out and just let it naturally sort of sink in, and let it just be gentle with it, and it'll start to cook for about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. While the pasta's cooking, I'm going to crush the black peppercorns. As I alluded to earlier, I don't have all the equipment that I need, so I had to improvise and use the bottom of a frying pan. And I do like them a little chunky, so this will work very well for us. This is a tellicherry from India. It is a bigger black peppercorn, and it provides a little bit more spiciness, which I really like. As you can see, I've already put the peppercorns in. The reason I put them in a dry pan is I want to create more flavor. A lot of times these sit in pantries for months, even years. And so when you crack them like I did, and then put them into a pan, it brings them back to life. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. And just let this simmer a little bit. All right, the pasta's cooking, the peppercorns are ready. Now it's time to grate the cheese. It's a Pecorino Romano, wonderful Italian cheese. It's a sheep's milk cheese, very nutty, has lots of flavor, and it really creates a nice creaminess to the pasta dish. Okay, now I'm going to start to assemble the dish. I'm going to put some pasta water in here with the oil. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to put the butter in here, and I'm going to create a little sauce to go with this. I'm just going to slowly melt this down. Slowly just mix and let it stir. Now the hard part is over. Let's put this dish together. This is the time where a lot of patience comes into play. Add some pasta. Add some cheese. Add a little bit of the peppercorns and butter. And mix. There are lots of ways to do this, but this is how I'm going to show you today. And then you just continue to mix with the water, the pasta, and the butter, and add more pasta water. The pasta water brings the creaminess together. It helps bring this entire dish together. So when you're doing this, you can sort of daydream even if you want. I'm daydreaming. You know what I'm daydreaming about? I'm daydreaming for the moment when you all can make a reservation at Linwood's. That's what I'm thinking about. So as soon as this is over, I want you to make a reservation. Matter of fact, I want you to make as many reservations as possible for all the restaurants in Baltimore. This is ready to go. Look at the creaminess of this pasta. I am so ready to eat. I am hungry. I want a glass of wine, maybe a bottle. It's been a great time. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and back to you, Sally.
Thank you, Linwood. It certainly wouldn't be a great chef's dinner without you here. Your support over the past 20 plus years has gotten us to where we are today, and for that we are grateful. As I mentioned to you earlier, our auction is now live, and we'd appreciate it if you go to your BidPal and open up the screen where you can look at some of the many items that we have included. Just to mention a few of them, we have some wonderful restaurants that have given gift cards, the Prime Rib, Cafe Troya, Duck Duck Goose, and more. There's a wonderful dinner for 8 at Alexander Brown Restaurant downtown, including wine pairings. There's a round of golf at Caves Valley and club seats at the Ravens games. These are just a few of the items, so take some time to look them over, and please do your best to support the family tree. Thank you.
I would say the need is greater this year because of the stress of the pandemic. We are all experiencing stress. But as we sit comfortably in our own homes and probably enjoying a yummy dinner after this or during this and a nice glass of whatever, we should remember that there are so many people who are just up against all odds, really trying desperately to fight their way to survival. So on behalf of all those people, we ask you to dig in, to be generous as you can. We ask you to be creative, call your friends, challenge each other, get on FaceTime or whatever, and try to have fun with this evening, and we can all do the best we can to encourage each other to be as generous as we each can in our own way. And for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope next year, I hope next year at the 30th, we can all be together again and celebrate sitting down together. Thank you.
Thanks for joining the pseudo dinner.
Thank you.
Hi, Pat here again. Now more than ever, the Family Tree's work is so important. Help us to continue to respond to families in need. You can still help. Fund a Need and our auction is open until April 30th at 6:30 p.m. So keep bidding. Thank you for joining us, and please stay healthy and well. Bye.